now?
I mean, we've had to install the red button and all this thing.
Ooh.
You know, even with the conceal and carry sign, people are like, you can't tell me not to carry a gun. It's like, well, it's actually my private building. I can tell you not to carry a gun, you know.
Welcome to the Nitra channel. My name is Erica, and we are here at the Geneva Eye Clinic in Geneva, Illinois. We are here with Dr. Hawkins. So to start off, can you tell me, what is your origin story? What brought you into medicine? What unexpected twists, if any, brought you here?
Well, I always thought I wanted to be an engineer. My father's an engineer, and so I did start in engineering. I have a degree in chemical engineering. And my junior year in college, I visited my uncle, who has since passed away in New Orleans, who was an ophthalmologist, and showed me his clinic and got me fitted with glasses and showed me the equipment and said things like, oh, I can tell who has hypertension, who has diabetes by looking in their eyes.
Wow.
And I thought, wow, that's kind of interesting. And then I started thinking about medical school and volunteered a little bit in the ER and stuff, and kind of took a turn. Did have other family members in medicine, and got lucky, got into medical school and pretty much hung on to the idea of ophthalmology the whole time. I think it's a lot harder to get into medical school now, and everything was lined up, and I got lucky and, you know, got to have this dream. I love being an ophthalmologist.
Wow. So if medicine hadn't found you, you would have been an engineer?
Yes, I would have been a chemical engineer. I had a job in Richland, Washington with a nuclear plant. My dad still teases me about it because, I don't know, it was $37,000 a year back in 1990, and
wow.
dream was to buy a new car and all of this. And my father said, okay, but look at graduate school, think about master's, think about PhD, and don't take that job. And so I came close to taking it, but then didn't.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm sure everyone here is glad to have you. So tell me a little bit about Geneva Eye Clinic. How long has this been open? How long have you been here? How many people do you have on staff? Things like that.
Yeah, Geneva Eye Clinic is a very interesting place. I started in 2001, right out of fellowship. I did my residency at Rush downtown in Chicago. I still teach there. It's just a wonderful place. And one of my attendings called one night and said, look, I have a buddy of mine looking for a new doctor in this town called Geneva. And I was like, Geneva? Where's Geneva? You know, and it was before MapQuest and all this stuff. And I printed out some directions how to get here, and I got totally lost, which anybody that knows me knows that happens a lot with driving. And I was like, I can't be in Geneva. And I got lost. But when I interviewed here, I really liked Dr. Simone, Dr. Becker. They're both since retired, but, you know, it was so far away, and, you know, you're married, but wasn't thinking of moving to the suburbs. And they say, look, come back one more time, take another look, bring your husband. And we came back, and then we saw the town during the day and kind of fell in love with it. And this clinic has a very rich history. It was his two doctors that joined their practices together. So, you know, we've been in the community 50, 60 years now. And I really like the way it's run. It services the community, takes care of its patients. You know, all the doctors have lots of other interests. They love ophthalmology, but they do other things as well. I mean, I've been here since the beginning of my career, which is July of 2001. And there's a very small percentage of doctors that can actually say they're at their first practice or position.
Oh, definitely.
And I plan on, you know, I'm the managing physician now. I plan on staying here till retirement, and we're still independent and proud to be. We're 5 MDs now.
Oh, great.
And 1 oculoplastics doctor that comes once a week. We have 1 optometrist. Probably have close to 50 employees.
Wow.
45 employees or so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have a pretty big space here.
We do.
I saw you guys have a lot of different rooms. You guys have 2 different floors, so lots of room.
We started getting the signal from the hospital that it was time to move out of their professional building because we were independent and they wanted their own physicians to occupy that. We started looking around. It was a little bit of a process. This is actually an old King County Chronicle newspaper building.
Oh, wow.
So we looked at it and walked in and said, oh, God, this won't work. But then you hire an architect that designs offices for ophthalmology and dental work, and drew out exactly how this could work. And we had to buy the second floor too and slowly sell that. Their press is on a building next door that we said, okay, we don't want to buy that part. And then eventually a gymnastics place bought it. So that big, the press was moved. Yeah. So it's worked nicely because, you know, there's a huge parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
Versus when you're in a professional building of a hospital, it's very limited parking. Yeah, and we've grown into it.
Yeah. And then I'm sure you've seen Geneva as a whole grow a lot since 2001, right?
Yes, yes.
Definitely become a little bit more developed. You've seen a lot of new buildings come in.
More buildings, more developed, a lot more people, a lot of new patients. I'm a big fan of cooking and eating out. So we moved here in 2001. There was like Italian and burger joint, nothing ethnic, and now it's just, booming.
Oh,
All sorts of
wow.
restaurants, hardly ever, go out of the area to find the special food we used to all the time.
Yeah,
It's just,
you don't need to.
yeah, and kids went to public school. Both my girls are grown now, but it's just a great place to practice medicine and to raise your family.
Great. So, in all of your years here, what would you say is the most common procedure?
For us, it's cataract surgery. That's our
Okay.
bread and butter, yeah. Cataract surgery with traditional lenses, premium lenses, the new technology, light adjustable lenses. I'm a glaucoma specialist, so I also do lots of minimally invasive glaucoma procedures. We have a pediatric specialist, Dr. Brito. She does strabismus, muscle surgery. We have retina specialists, so we do all our medical injections for macular degeneration. We used to do LASIK as well.
Okay.
Those are the common things.
So, has there been a moment in your career, in your time here in Geneva, that has really made you step back and think, this is why I do what I do?
I mean, so many. This profession is incredible. Every week, almost every day, somebody says to me, you changed my life.
Oh.
Whether it's, after cataract surgery or something they'll remember, like, you came in that one Saturday and took something out of my eye and you said you were at a recital, and I don't really remember these things.
Yeah.
But they'll come back for their annual exam and kind of remind me, or, you diagnosed me with a stroke, you came and saw me in the hospital. And honestly, I don't sometimes remember a lot of those things, but people do, and they're very grateful. I find that then they keep coming back to you and send their relatives and their other neighbors and friends. Yes, I think we have a strong following because of what we do, even off hours if patients call to take care of them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure it goes a long way.
Yes.
So you said you have 5 MDs here, right? With that, I guess, how do you guys split up the work? How do you split up the business side of things, the finances, the logistics?
Yeah.
And what kind of challenges do you face with that?
Yeah, a lot of challenges in private practice,
Yeah.
with reimbursements getting cut down. It takes a village. We're not trained in HR. We're not trained in billing. We're
Right.
not trained in a lot of these things. So we have hired, Joji as our manager and then 4 managers below them to really help guide us and work as a team. Right now, I'm the managing physician that really overlooks all the financial stuff. My partner, Dr. Kevin King, does a lot more of the human resources and that. But everybody, all the 4 partners participate in different things, and we all meet at least once a month to kind of figure this out. We all do some comprehensive ophthalmology, and then all of us have a little niche. I do glaucoma, and then there's pediatrics, there's medical retina. Dr. King stopped operating about a year ago, so we hired a new associate. She's not a partner yet, but she's taking a lot of the cases and a lot of comprehensive ophthalmology. I think it works really well, and it's an office where there's 2 or 3 doctors working at all times. So if you ever have a question, you just say, can you come look at this, or let's consult or talk about this, which is something I always wanted, instead of having a practice where you're just by yourself and there's no one else to discuss patients with or to go over things with. So, it's always busy, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. We're open every Saturday, which is, I think, unique for us.
Yeah.
You take turns working, but it's such a big practice that patients are always, in need of something. And so if we're open 6 days a week, we can take care of them better, I think.
Yeah, you have more time for everybody.
Yeah,
That's great.
and Tuesdays we're open till 8 p.m.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I think it's, having all those doctors in one big office, which is nice. A lot of the practices, you have to go to 2, 3 different offices, and, that's a commuting nightmare.
Yeah. So talking about all of the people you have working here, kind of how you guys split up the work, the frustrations, right? Like not being an HR specialist, not being a billing specialist. Is there one frustration among the staff where you wish you could just wave a magic wand and fix?
I wish people could get along.
Oh.
So there are always, I don't know, I don't want to say little things, but things that happen at work, and then staff will not get along with each other. So, and I'm, it's like, come to work to take care of patients. That's their job. But so I'm not good at that part of it. So
That's what the HR person does.
So, Dr. King, Joji are more because I'm like, just stop fighting, get along. That doesn't work.
Well, I guess going along that, have you ever had patient interactions go wrong?
Yeah, there are patients, sometimes we have to dismiss them because of their bad behavior, often towards staff, not necessarily towards the doctor. When I first started, I was the first female ophthalmologist here. They didn't want to see a woman doctor.
Wow.
Yeah, one patient I remember, there must have been something not right with him. He just was in a bad mood and, said, go back to Pakistan where you came from.
Oh,
But
my God.
he was dismissed. And, some other ones that have been mean to the front desk, either, swearing or threatening or just where we don't feel good. It's like, okay, we can't take care of you here anymore.
No, and it's good and reassuring, I'm sure, for the other people you work with as well, that you all have each other's back.
Right.
That if they're not going to be nice to one person, then, you're not going to see them. They go somewhere else.
And they try to hide it. They're mean to the front desk and the technicians, but then the doctors walk in and they're put on a big smile and try.
Of course. But, I mean, it's not like you guys don't talk to each other.
Exactly.
So you're going to tell each other what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to make sure everyone's safe. You want to make sure everyone's taken care of. You also don't want a patient to be aggressive or,
I mean, we've had to install a red button and all this thing that, didn't exist, 20, 25 years ago. But now, we worry about it. People, even with the conceal and carry sign, people are like, you can't tell me not to carry a gun. It's like, well, it's actually my private building. I can tell you not to carry a gun,
That's scary.
It is, yes.
Oh,
yes.
Wow. I'm sorry you've had to go through that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you've seen a lot in the years you've been here.
Yeah.
Wow.
We've had to call police before.
Ooh, okay. Is it a story you can share?
Well, this guy was homeless, schizophrenic,
Mm.
and demanded an eye exam. And so, he kept bothering us, and the police said, oh, he's harmless. Go ahead and give him an eye exam. And finally I did, with the door open and, other people in the room.
Yeah.
But there's other times where the front desk is not, they have felt threatened. So we've had to install something where we can quickly call police if needed.
Wow.
Yeah,
But it's a dangerous world out there.
Dangerous world, even though it's not typically Geneva, but it happens.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's kind of, this is very suburban, right?
Yeah.
Like driving over here, it was a little farmland, but
Exactly.
yeah, but it can happen anywhere. You just always have to be prepared.
Exactly.
I mean, do you do any like training with your staff for situations like that?
We haven't. That's interesting. Something we should think about, because certainly the school district does and all of that. We haven't as a private practice. The hospital, I think, has. They had an incident 7-8 years ago where inmate badly assaulted a nurse. Yeah, and made national news, but that was just a small community hospital.
Yeah.
So when something like that happens, we learned and new protocols were put in place, and I think the staff has training. Ours doesn't, but that's a good point, something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, it's never bad to be too safe.
Yeah.
So definitely want to make sure everyone's prepared.
Yeah.
So kind of moving away from that, when you see your patients, I guess, do you feel like there's a common misconception that patients have about ophthalmology, or do you feel like most people come in knowing like what they're going to get done?
Yeah, I mean, I think there can be, if you've not been diagnosed with a disease, they think ophthalmology is getting your glasses checked. And that is the smallest part of what we do here in a way, because that's just to see what glasses or contacts you need. But far more than that, are there any diseases? What is the eye pressure? What is a dilated exam? Are you at risk for glaucoma or macular degeneration? And a lot of the public doesn't know the difference between optometrist and ophthalmologist. And so to try to educate them on that, the glasses part is one thing, but these are the other things we check for as you get older, the common diseases, glaucoma, cataracts, macular. That's what we're looking for, and that's what we're asking you to follow up with us on a regular basis. I think that's still American Academy of Ophthalmology is really working on that, is to educate the public the difference between optometrist and ophthalmologists, which we're now calling IMDs. So there's lots of, big push for that. We're IMDs. We went to medical school.
Right.
So we treat diseases, we do surgery that optometrists don't do. Different states, optometrists are fighting for certain rights for that, but but for most part, we're the ones that do all the training, the education, and we're the ones that operate and prescribe medicines.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Great. And I mean, the regulations, the laws, it's all different state by state, right?
Exactly.
And so when you go to a big event or talk to people in other states, go to AAO, it's all going to be different, right? Depending on who you're talking to.
Right.
I guess with that, people not really knowing the difference between optometry, ophthalmology, a lot of people get their information online, right?
Yes.
And so is there a trend that you've seen in the industry that worries you?
I mean, people Googling all their symptoms, that's one. And then even trying remedies that, aren't accurate. I don't like the idea of people getting tested and fitted for glasses online. All those exist where they kind of look in and measure the PD. And because those opticians, are not trained like ours are at selling good quality stuff. Patients don't understand the difference. They just want to be able to turn something in online, and then that's not accurate of what's actually going on. And when the glasses don't work, then they blame the prescription we gave them, but it's not the prescription. It's where the next step after that, who did the measurements, and that part's disturbing for sure.
Have you had patients come in who've done their own research, done something online, made a mistake, and then had to come in for a correction?
Yeah, that happens, so that's costly to them because a lot of those places won't remake the glasses even, which good quality places will say you have 60, 90 days. If there's any problem or the doctor changes a prescription, we'll remake it. But some of those places won't. And so, yeah, it's complicated. We won't give them the pupillary distance, and, those places a lot of times require you to have a doctor's office measure that, things like that. But also there's all these, on a little bit of a side note, all these ads for different kinds of dry eye treatment and blepharitis treatment. And one of the patients we dismissed the other day was about, really wanted this medicine for this disease, which he didn't have, but he saw the ad on TV. And we gave it to him once, mostly because he bullied us, and then he came back and wanted more and more.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's treated. You don't have it anymore. But no, that's what the TV showed him, and he's convinced that's what he has. And
yeah, you can't, I guess, take it case by case with those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess with that, not only are there so many ads targeted towards patients, but there's a lot of ads targeted towards business owners, towards doctors, for different equipment for you all to buy, for different treatments. How do you do research to figure out what machines to buy?
Yeah. Well, so I'm very lucky because I go to Rush, and that's, there's about 30 other doctors there, so a lot of other private practices like mine. And so we talk to each other, what's the laser you use? What's the credit card you use, for example? So that's very, very helpful to talk to each other and figure out what works for you and what doesn't work. And I trust all those colleagues at Rush. They all have successful private practices, and all of those doctors are taking half a day or 1 day a week and sort of donating or giving their time to teaching. It comes in handy. Every now and then they're just cold calls from somebody says, you want to try this machine, camera, laser, I'll bring it to your office. Sometimes that works. And often just the American Academy of Ophthalmology, which I'm sure you've walked around. I mean, that...
Oh, yeah. There's stuff everywhere.
You get your miles in there, and by the time you all the candy and free T-shirts and caps
Yes.
and things.
I love going around and getting the free goodies from every booth.
Yeah. And then some things have come out of that, So it is important to go to some sort of national or local meetings and keep in touch with colleagues and all the reps that are saying, hey, have you heard of this?
Yeah. So going back to the business side of things, I know you guys mentioned, you guys kind of split up the responsibilities. Is there an expense, like an ouch expense every month that you wish was not as bad as it is?
I mean, there's just so many expenses. I mean, I guess our biggest overhead expense is, of course, staffing, which is 100% needed to run an efficient practice. I don't really mind that one, but it's just every little thing, whether it's EMR and then all the add-ons to that, or the internet, or the telephone service, the callback service, credit card charge, because patients are using credit cards,
Yeah.
Every place I shop now, whether it's get my car fixed or buy something, 3% extra if you're using a credit card.
Always.
But, yeah, and we're not necessarily allowed to do that with insurances. I mean, we're getting dinged right and left, and sometimes it feels like very little, but then it all adds up, and it's a lot.
Yeah. So last question before we close out. If you could sit down with yourself, fresh out of med school, what advice would you give your younger self?
To be patient, not to expect everything to happen overnight. It took a long time to build a practice, to get a following, and I think I was very impatient at first, where I wanted, 50 patients, or I wanted everybody to love me, or something like that. It just took time. I had to slow down and do the right thing, and I wasn't busy for many years, and then it seems like I'm just way too busy. And that happens when I think I've gotten better with time, how to talk to patients, how to communicate, and the patients have gotten to know me, and the ones that like my style then end up coming back. So very proud of what I've accomplished, but it takes time. I would just say, don't rush it. It all happens, and do the right thing.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Great. Thank you.
You too.